नमस्कार, द लीगल इंडियन के इस एपिसोड में आप सारे लोगों का फिर से स्वागत है। दोस्तों, आज के इस एपिसोड में हम बात करेंगे ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस नजमी वजीरी का, जो माननीय दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट में जज थे और रिसेंटली इनका रिटायरमेंट हुआ। अपने फेयरवेल स्पीच में इन्होंने बहुत सारी बातें बताई जो यंग लॉ स्टूडेंट्स को, यंग एडवोकेट्स को ज़रूर प्रेरणा देगी। ये कहते हैं कि 43 ईयर्स बिफोर ही केम टू दिल्ली, और जब वो आए थे तो उनके पास मात्र 100 रुपीज़ थे, 100 रुपये का एक नोट था, और अपर इंडिया एक्सप्रेस से वो दिल्ली आए थे। उसके बाद यहाँ पे एजुकेशन सेंट स्टीफेंस कॉलेज में किया, उसके बाद लॉ फैकल्टी में किया, और उसके बाद काफ़ी दिनों तक वकालत किया, फिर ये जज बने। और उसके बाद कहते हैं कि जब वो दिल्ली आए थे तो इनका कोई पॉलिटिकल बैकअप नहीं था, कोई लॉ फील्ड में कोई लिनिएज नहीं था, कोई गॉडफादर नहीं था। इसके बावजूद भी किस तरीके से मेहनत करके उन्होंने इस मुकाम को पाया है, ये अपने फेयरवेल स्पीच में ये बताते हैं। मैं आप तमाम स्टूडेंट्स से रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ, पर्सनल रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ, खास करके जो फर्स्ट जनरेशन एडवोकेट हैं, जो चिल्लाते रहते हैं कि जी मेरा तो कोई है ही नहीं, कैसे हम लिटिगेशन करेंगे। मेरे पास आते हैं बच्चे कि सर मेरा तो कोई है ही नहीं यहाँ पे, मैं तो बिहार से हूँ, मैं तो आसाम से हूँ, मैं तो इधर से हूँ, मैं तो उधर से हूँ, यहाँ पे कैसे लिटिगेशन करूँ, मुझे तो कोई जानता ही नहीं है, किसी को कोई नहीं जानता। ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस नजमी वजीरी की ज़िंदगी को देखिए, इनको भी कोई नहीं जानता था, लेकिन किस तरीके से ये मुकाम इन्होंने हासिल किया। आपको इनका पूरा का पूरा जो फेयरवेल स्पीच है उसे देखना चाहिए। इस स्पीच में कुछ लॉ स्टूडेंट्स को, यंग एडवोकेट्स को वो गाइड भी कर रहे हैं, कुछ टिप्स भी दे रहे हैं। इनकी वाइफ किस तरीके से इनको सपोर्ट करी, इसके बारे में भी बता रहे हैं। बच्चे को समय नहीं दे पाते थे बिकॉज ऑफ दिस प्रोफेशन, इसके बारे में भी बताते हैं। इन्होंने अपने माँ बाप को सही से समय नहीं दे पाया, इसके बारे में भी बताते हैं। सारी बातें बताते हैं। आप एक बार इसको थॉरोली पूरा देखिए। ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस नजमी वजीरी को ग्रीन जज भी कहा जाता है। क्या इसके पीछे रीज़न है, आप इसको देखेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा। आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि इस वीडियो को पूरा देखिए ताकि आप मोटिवेट हो सकें, और ये जो कीड़ा आपके अंदर होता है कि फर्स्ट जनरेशन एडवोकेट हैं तो कैसे सस्टेन करेंगे, कैसे सर्वाइव करेंगे अननोन प्लेसेस में, ये खत्म हो जाएगा। चलिए पूरा एपिसोड देखते हैं।
3,774 days ago, I took oath of office at this very spot. The entire decade and 3 months have gone by in the blink of an eye. Each day I was conscious of my duty to do justice without fear or favor, affection or ill will. I think I have done my bit. How I discharged my responsibility has been reflected in some measure in the generous and gracious words spoken about me by all the previous speakers, and I thank each one of you. I recall the evening when I returned home after my first day as a judge. My younger daughter Insha, who was barely 12 years old then, and had witnessed an impressive oath-taking ceremony that morning, cuddled up to me and asked me most innocently, "Abba, kya tum kar paoge?" Wondering if I was up to the job. That question actually became a challenge to strive each day to live up to the expectation from a judge of the High Court. Insha's innocent question soon became a question of what justice meant to the people under our social contract, that is the Constitution of India, and the rights and duties guaranteed and embodied in it. I found that justice is given meaning through the orders and directions of the court when the pay, pension, promotion of an employee is denied, when the wages of a worker are not given promptly, when the law enforcing agencies are directed to protect a young lady from harassment either on the streets or in an office or in other circumstances, when hooliganism in a neighborhood is directed to be promptly stopped by the police, when a sports person is accorded due opportunity to participate in fair competition, when it is ensured that authorities deliver basic services to the people, or when the environment is protected. These and many other issues covering the fields of finance, trade, and commerce, and personal laws come up before the court on a regular basis. Often, the relief is dictated in the court, yet there are occasions which require a judge to ponder, to meditate, to look for balance. The process of judging also requires listening to silences. While one may have read the case file thoroughly and may have formed an initial opinion of the matter, yet, after hearing arguments of counsel, the decision can be very different. One realizes that there is no such thing as perfect justice. Just as justice is never perfect, nor is any institution. It is the balancing of equities at the time of judging that justice is delivered. It is here that the assistance of counsel becomes of immeasurable value. There is no greater pleasure than being assisted by advocates who have come fully prepared. I would not be here but for the one person who, despite my initial reluctance, persuaded me to give my consent to become a judge. I thank Justice Badr Ahmed for that. In the world of law, he has always been my go-to person. Whenever I needed guidance on issues that were troubling me. Though I shared and still continue to share the bench with some of the finest legal minds our country has ever produced, two persons I still fondly recall sharing the bench with are Justice Ravindra Bhatt and Justice S. Muralidhar. Justice Bhatt, with whom I sat when I started my journey, was of immense help as he guided and mentored me, not only in navigating this path, but also in bearing the burden that this office places on one's shoulders. I'm also thankful to Justice Vijendra Jain, Justice Vikramajit Sen, Justice Madan Lokur, Justice A.P. Shah, and Justice Anil Dev Singh, all former judges of this court, for their constant guidance and support and encouragement during my entire tenure. But for all their good wishes and blessings, this journey may not have been charted the way it did. I am ever beholden to two of my ustads from college, St. Stephen's, Professor Dr. Ashok Vora and Professor Dr. Vijay Tanka. Dr. Tanka is with us in this courtroom today. I'm extremely grateful to you, sir. Both are models of empathy, fearlessness, wisdom, and unbounded capacity to have fun. I recall once I had qualified for a scholarship from my college. It was not a big amount. And Dr. Bora asked me, "Do you really need the money?" I said no. To which he said, "Then let it go to somebody else." And it so happened. I suppose it is incidents such as these which make you think beyond your own rights and entitlements and the benefit of others. For me, this laid the seeds of the idea of fraternity in practice, which I would later find enshrined in the Constitution, in the preamble to the Constitution. I cannot help but fondly recall intellectually stimulating discussions we would have walking through the verdant ridge next to the Delhi University and critically assessing Plato's Republic, Aristotle's conception of the ideal man, as also the Chandogya Upanishad, which is the precursor to the Vedanta. Little did I know that the juxtaposition will recur 4 decades down the line when questions of philosophy of law set in motion the greening of the city. For it was here, during these walks, that certain ideas were embedded in my young mind of living in harmony with nature, the importance of a green lung for a city such as Delhi, and most importantly, the debt each one of us owe to our immediate surrounding. While still in law school, I had the good fortune of joining the law chamber of Dr. L.M. Singhvi. I learned the value of relentless hard work from this chamber. I also had the good fortune of interacting with seniors such as late Ghulam Pahanvati, Attorney General of India, and others at the bar, from whom I learned like Eklavya by simply observing them as they argued their cases in court. The high office of a constitutional court requires maintaining a degree of social distance, indeed aloofness from society. While the social world narrows for a judge, the inner world grows. The world of the mind becomes richer. Penning a judgment often requires deep reflection, careful consideration, compassionate assessment, and rational conclusion. Often it takes time, much mulling over, and a good amount of reading, but that time is well justified. I can say with complete conviction that I would not have been here but for the boundless affection and blessings of my father, Mr. Sharafat Hussain Ansari, and my mother, Ms. Jahan Ara Parveen, both of whom have departed from this world. I did not get to live. I did not get to live with them for nearly half a century. Packed off as I was to a boarding school from the age of 7. Except for my summer and winter holidays and the occasional visits home once or twice a year. On reflection, I find I have learned 3 valuable lessons from my parents. 1. My father always maintained that one should never fear a human being. 2. One should at all times be truthful. And 3. From my mother I learned that I should never be haughty or conceited so that I save myself from being cursed by the oppressed. कभी घमंड गुरूर ना करना और कभी किसी गरीब की हाय ना लेना, as she would always say. I think I have embodied these principles in my conduct to the best of my ability. My siblings have been a constant support and have taken immense pride in me and my work. My eldest brother, Arshad Waziri, has possibly joined online and is watching these proceedings, along with my siblings and their families. Arshad Bhai and Ishrat, who is present here today, saw me through college. My cousin Azhar also is present here. He had come for my swearing in. Now he's come for my farewell reference. He's one person I pick up the phone and speak in my native language, Kabir Bhasha. And there's one counsel sitting here with whom I very often speak in my native language. It's a great pleasure. Just Zaban ki khushbu, Zaban ki lazzat, wo milti hai. On this occasion, I fondly remember my father-in-law, Dr. Abdul Jalil, whom we lost 22 years ago. How proud he would have been today, for he encouraged me to push boundaries. I am glad that my mother-in-law, Najimi Jalil, is present here. She has been the third parent in our parenting ecosystem. She has kept a watchful eye on us and has been, in her own quiet way, our moral compass. I remember the day 43 years ago. It was the 14th of July, 1980, when I arrived in Delhi by the Upper India Express. With my clothes in a metal trunk, my bedding, and the princely sum of rupees 100 as my month's expenses. I made my way to St. Stephen's. I was quite literally a nobody from nowhere. But this city embraced me as one of its own. St. Stephen's took me in and made me what I am today. Though, of course, as the joke in our college goes, let's not blame the college for it. My life altered irrevocably once I walked in through those hallowed portals. I made some of my best friends there, and I retained them, some of whom are present in this hall today. Dharmendra, Wallace, Arvind, Sethi, I thank each one of you for your friendship over the years. In good times and bad, you have stood by me. I would also like to thank Javed Ansari and Yasmin Ansari, my aunt and uncle who were more than local guardians when I first came to Delhi. A team of dedicated men and women labor round the clock to facilitate the work of a judge. I want to acknowledge Kamlesh Kumar, my private secretary, an excellent private secretary, Hoshiar Singh, my former court master, Safalta Bhati, my present court master, as well as Rajdas, Soumya, Satija, Rohit, Ved Prakash, Sher Ali, Basant Kumar, Tilak Raj, Nitin Vansh, Nitin Vats, and Harinder. Then there is Manbar Singh Gosai, my driver, and my domestic assistants, Bishan, Madan, Irfan, Ankush, and my PSOs, Narendra Singh and Harjeet Singh. My acknowledgements would not be complete without acknowledging the band of happy but hard-working law researchers. Mahir, naam to Amir hai, Mahir, Mahima, Disha, and Amreen. Among my earliest law researchers, I remember Neha Kapoor and Arunadri Iyer with affection. The bar of the Delhi High Court is an incredible space. It embraces everybody with warmth and affection. I see myself in many a young lawyer and the scope they have to grow and nourish and flourish there. After all, I came here 43 years ago with no legal lineage, no political godfather, and no one to watch my back. But over the years, I found a support system. Year after year, young lawyers from various parts of the country come to this city, struggle and grow, and the bar, unceasingly takes them in, makes a space for them, gives them a sense of belonging. I can say with great pride that this bar is a safe place for women lawyers to not merely work, but find their true potential. And for young people, it is truly a fabulous place, for there is a surfeit of opportunities here. For the members of the bar, I have but one advice to give. Prepare, prepare, prepare. As a judge, all that I have expected from the bar was for the counsel assisting me to be prepared with facts and the law, and to briefly and succinctly assist the court in simple language, shorn of unnecessary bombast and verbiage. I would go to the extent of saying, weigh your syllables, not only your words as to what to say in the court. When there is a scope or chance of healing wounds and making amends, the best way possible was to direct the litigant to do something for the city, or his environment, or his surrounding, or his neighborhood. It seemed a more prudent way of utilizing people's monies and time than by sending the cost imposed on the various parties into various funds where it may lie unutilized for decades to come. In this process, I came across some of the finest human beings and spirited citizens among the lawyers. I have had many a lawyer come up to the court and say that they want to join the process of greening the city and to do their bit to halt environmental degradation. Boond boond se hi sagar banta hai. Every single effort, every tree that has been planted here, that has taken root in its soil, will count in the years ahead. It was heartening to see people want to become a part of this process, to take ownership, to have the agency in the directions of the court, and to the extent to which the court could encourage community participation. I can say that it has been a very rewarding effort. As was said earlier, 3.7 lakh trees have been planted, 20,000 in the process of being planted, and we have enough money for 2.5 lakh more trees to be planted. That's already kept in the escrow account. And it's an account which we've named, the court has named it Green Delhi Fund, Green Delhi account. This can go forward only with the participation of people at large and of the citizens, because the government alone cannot do everything. Sometimes, especially at these times, citizens have to take charge. They have to be in charge. My journey would not be what it is but for my wife, Dr. Rakshanda Jalil, and our two lovely daughters, Alia and Insha. As a lawyer, I was extremely busy. I would reach home late and the children would be about to go to sleep. In the morning, while helping them to get ready for school, I would often make them deliberately miss the bus, so that I could utilize the 20-odd minutes to interact with them while driving them to school. As a judge, I haven't always had much time. I wish I could have given them more time as a father during the critical growing up years. Now, when I'm retiring, they are likely to be flying the nest. They are likely to be flying the nest, with both going abroad for further studies. Insha's devastating one-liners have kept me grounded. Alia's searching questions and queries about the law and of life have kept me on my toes. And my wife's management of everything in life has made it possible for me to discharge my duties as a judge. However, when I am amongst the three of them, it is amply evident that my writ is limited to my courtroom. The registry of this court, office of the protocol branch, medical branch, P&T branch are amongst the finest anywhere in the country. What they facilitate for the judges on a daily basis is amazing. I thank them all. This court has people with the finest mettle who will unflinchingly uphold the rule of law. I leave with the hope that this court will triumph. Many a challenge with grit, resolve, and creativeness it has come to be known for. Individuals will come and go. But this institution shall survive. I am sanguine in the thought expressed by the poet Sahir Ludhianvi. कल और आएंगे नगमों की खिलती कलियां चुनने वाले, हमसे बेहतर कहने वाले, तुमसे बेहतर सुनने वाले. Thank you.